Good morning or good afternoon. My name is Rafed Fareed. My student number is 101-205-956 and this is Comp 3122. This is assignment number 4 for our machine learning. First thing we're going to do is just import pandas as usual. Question number 1. Save the data or CSV into a variable. I want to name it myDF and then I'm going to say read CSV, give it a file path, and now we have access to the data. Second question is print first 3 rows. We can just use dot head and then say 3. It's gonna give us 1, 2, 3 rows. Now we want to delete the model just temporarily. What we can do here is just say dot drop, give it a name, and say look for this name in axis 1, which means a column. So it's gonna go through the whole columns until it finds model, and it's gonna drop it, but only temporarily. Now we want to delete it permanently without using in place. So simply we just make this equal to the drop method, and what this is saying is I want the whole table, okay, but drop model on axis 1, which is the column. So now we have everything except model. Now we want to permanently delete rows 1 through 5. Instead of using axis 1, we're going to use axis 0 to indicate that it's the rows. In place true means it's going to happen permanently. And now we want to show the first 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to calculate the mean for the range. Simply just write the series name, which is the range, and then say dot mean, and pandas will do the rest for you. And this is the number that we get for the mean. Now we want to count how many f's there are in type. So there's an inbuilt function which is dot value count. This will go in the series and look for every f there is in the type column and then count it. So we have 50 f's. Now we want to replace every f that we have with AAA, and we want to make it permanent change, so we're going to use dot replace and in place. It's gonna what do you want to replace, and then what do you want to replace it with. F becomes AAA, and then show the first 5 rows. We can just use dot head. We want to get rid of all of these ones, square brackets and the $sign from the cost column. So we can still use dot replace. We say what I just created a simple dictionary. So back square bracket is replaced with nothing, dollar is replaced with nothing, and this one, the front square, with nothing. I said regex is equal true because I want this to be read in simple English, so that just means they're not special characters. The program won't look at them as arrays, because usually when you use square brackets, it's indication for arrays. In place true means I want to make it a permanent change. And then what is the data type of cost? Well, it's still going to be just an object. Number 9 says change the data type to integer. So simply we can just use dot as type and then say int. Now as you can see, it's int 64. Now we want to get the mean again of cost. So okay, we get 54. Now we want to group each continent and say what is the mean cost of it. So we can just say group by. Okay, I want to group all the continents, and then I want to look into their cost, and I want to see their mean. As you can see, we get all the continents on one side and all their mean cost on the other side. Number 11. We want to do the same thing, but this time find the min, max, and standard deviation. So again, we're grouping all the continents, looking into their cost column or series, whatever you want to say, and then we're gonna use .agg. That's when you want to use multiple functions. So instead of only using mean, we want to use min, max, and standard deviation. So we get min, max, and standard deviation for all the continents. Number 12, we want to calculate min, max, and min. Min, max, and standard deviation. But this time, instead of looking only at the cost series, we're going to look at the range, value, and cost. We're still going to group by. We're going to look at these three series, and then we're going to get all their min, max, and standard deviation. Here's the range, here's its min, max, and standard deviation, and here's its continents. Same for value, and same for cost. Number 13, it's basically just copying number 12 and then just getting the mean and then graphing it. And here I just graphed it with a bar chart as it was asking, and you can see all the numbers and graphs. Dot value counts. So again, we're just gonna count all the continents, how many times North America appears in the continent series. 143, 142, and as you can see all these numbers. Now we want to see the percentage of how many times they appear in the series or in the column, sorry. 15%, most of them are around like 15%. It's basically the same as this one. Instead of a number, we're just gonna get the percentage of it. And how you get that is just say normalize is equal to true. So it's gonna normalize the data and get you the percentage. Now this question was, I believe it was very similar to number 14. Just get all the unique values and then count the number of unique values. I mean, right here we already know we're only gonna write this once, so these are already unique, and then we're gonna count it. Number 17, we're gonna get value counts of MyDF cost. So right here we just get how many times 56 appears, how many times 35 appears, and so on and so forth. Now we're gonna graph the cost. We're gonna use histograph for this. You can just simply say .hist and then give it a column. Now we have all this these numbers. Number 19, we want to make it more accurate, so we're going to use bins. In the assignment it just said make bins equal to 50, and as you can see, just by eyeballing it, this is a lot more accurate than this. It's easier to tell where 20 is and where let's say 30 is, because they're almost like in their own separate I want to say like lines. It's easier to tell where everything is. Number 20, we want to see how many values are missing from zip code and type. ISNA, ISNA. So this just counts all the missing values if they exist. And then I'm going to say dot sum to get the total amount, 9 and 2. And now we want to get a brief summary of all the missing types. So instead of saying zip code and type, we're just going to say MyDF dot where's the missing values. I'm still going to say the sum. So they're all really 0 except type and zip code. We want to drop all the mission values, drop an A in the rows. So it's gonna look through all the rows. If there's any missing values, it's just gonna get dropped. Now in here we want to count all the missing values. Well, not missing values, I'm sorry, I mean we're just gonna count all the values. As you can see, we still have 2 missing because this was only temporary, it's not permanent. So we still have 2 missing values, and we have some other values in the type. Now we want to replace the missing values with XXX, fill and A. So fill all the missing values with XXX. In place true means it's going to be a permanent change. And now we're just going to count the values again. Count them all. Okay, and now instead of NA, which is missing values, we're going to have XXX. Number 24, we want to drop all the missing values in the series permanently this time. And as you can see, I just printed it to show you. It's 938 instead of 936. Well, oh yeah, because I replaced all the missing values in the type with XXX. That's why this one is higher by 2. 25. Let me just read this. Set the ID column as the new index and delete the index name. Okay, we can just say set index. MyDF set index. What do you want it to be set as? Like which column do you want the index to be? I just said ID. ID is the first one. Rename X is none, so I'm not gonna give it a name. And then I'm gonna print the head. Here's the head. In here we want to count. We want to see which values are equal to 70, but none of them are equal to 70. I think the highest they go is 50, but I might be wrong. But definitely none of them are 70. This one, I think it was. You know, I'll just read it and show you. Show the index column and shape of the current DF. So it already shows you the shape. Okay, so bring back the ID column in the DF and reset the index. It's already reset and ID is already back. Show the index columns and current shape of the DF. Well, it's already shown us. So I just printed it and it was working fine, so I didn't have to do much in here. Use the describe method to see the statistics of MyDF and fetch the value of the first row and third column. How while lock works is 0 really means 1 and 2 really means like plus 1 to whatever I said. So 0 means 1 and 2 means 3. That's why I went with 0 and 2 to get the 0 and first. I just got to describe, so I think it's gonna give me like I'm not too sure, but I think it's like the mean, standard deviation, min, max, one of them. Okay, we're gonna sort the value counts of the continent column. This one, you know, it's already answered itself. We're gonna use value counts and then sort is equal to true. And then second part, we're gonna sort the index instead. So we're gonna count all the values, okay, but we're gonna sort by sort index. So we're gonna go alphabetically instead of, as you can see here, we're just sorting the numbers highest to lowest. Excuse me. Okay, now we want to show all the rows. Well, first, third, fifth, and seventh row, and we want to print the first 7 rows. really in this one, let me go through the first one. First, third, fifth, and seventh. The reason we're getting 2, 6, 8, and 10 is because some of the values are already missing or we dropped them off. And then the first 7 rows for top and continent. And here we are. Last question. Show the value of the type that are equal to XXX. So we're just going to use log this time. MyDF.log. And then we're saying go in the series and see which ones are equal to XXX in the value. So here's the index and value where that is true. It's just checking where is it true. Index 754, value 37, and if you can see here, if I can write something here, it would be like type XXX, but they don't need to write that because it's just checking if it's true or false. Thank you very much for listening, and bye.